Hey, what's happening, guys? Pardon the hand-holdness at the beginning of the video here. This is my Tec Tec Delta II, which doesn't want to focus. Let's try again. There we go. This is a 100-watt single sideband AM, FM transceiver, ham radio, and I'm having some fun with it, making contacts and whatnot. But the one thing that I want to be able to do with it is what are called digital modes. Check out my video, Whisper Across the Ocean, if you're not sure what I'm talking about. But to do that, we need an interface cable. And this is an American-made transceiver by a company called Tec Tec. But it's a 1991 vintage, so coming across the proper interface cables are going to be a little difficult. So we are going to make our own. Thankfully, I have the manual here for the Tec Tec Delta II. And if we open it up to page 2829, you can see here the accessory jack, the J1 accessory jack. It says, this 8-pin DIN carries many of the connections, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's what we need to know in order to make our connection. And if we flip it over here and look, we can see these are what the pins are. So now we have all the information we need to make our connector. Whoops, get my phone out of the way there. Bring in the helping hands. So this is the type of connector we need. This is a male 8-pin DIN, and I'm going to show you how to solder one of these up and make a nice custom cable. So first of all, this is out too far. It's just sitting on that insulator. You just pull this off, and this thing just pops apart into 3 pieces. Now, your 8-pin DINs are keyed, and this has little ears so that you end up always being able to put it back into place correctly. But having it like this makes the soldering a whole lot easier. Now, one other trick I want to show you. Oh, what did I do with it? Hold on a second. Is the female connector. These metal pins going through this plastic, the plastic can warp a little bit when you solder it. So to keep everything in place, place the male connector in the female connector before soldering it, and it will keep everything perfectly lined up for your soldering. So we need to have 4 wires coming off of here. We need audio and ground and mic and ground. And then there's one other connection we're going to have to make, and that is our transmit enable connection, which if you look at this connector here, this is pin number 8. This is 7, 3, 5, 2, 4, 1. We need to connect pin 5, which is this one, to pin 8. So those also need to be connected. Okay, so we have our connector for the radio. The connector for the computer are simply going to be 2 1/8-inch, I don't know what you want to call them, earphone jacks or whatever. And the cabling we're going to use is some patch cord, some Cat 5 patch cord. This is a, let's see what the hell it says here. ETL verified TIA EIA 568B.2 Cat 5E patch cable. So if we open that up by biting the end of it off, what we're going to find here are some twisted pairs. And the twist is good because it allows us to get a little bit of shielding out of the twist. I'll bite this open here, hold on. Okay, so there you see it. Let me focus this here. We have 4 twisted pairs or 8 cables. So I'm feeling today blue and green. So we'll cut out the orange and white and the brown and white. And those will be our 2 cables, or 2 pairs, that we'll use to connect this up. So first thing we're going to do is make our jumper between 5 and 8. So for our jumper, I've just got some of this bus wire. This is about 22 gauge. Just nick off a piece of it. See how far that wants to go. Okay. So probably about ½ inch or so should do the trick. This bus wire is tinned already. Use my pliers to form it. And then we'll just sit it in the connectors once I get the spacing right. Okay, the spacing's good, and actually I can make it a little bit shorter. You want to keep these as short as possible. And let's try that. This is hard to do through my camera screen. Never tried it this way. Hold on. Everything is trimmed. I got a nice fit now. I'm happy with it. Next up, we will solder those wires in place. Now that bus wire is pre-tinned, so we don't have to tin it. Little dab there for thermal conduction. And we'll heat up the pin. And apply the solder there. Same thing here. Let me wipe my iron off. Get that guy heated up. Yeah, little dab for thermal. My hands are shaky. My eyes aren't good. This is what happens when you get old. Come on now. Get in there. Man, that pin don't want to solder. Alright, let's try this again here. Alright, we got it. So there's our connection. Whew. That was tougher than I thought. Alright, next up. Let's go with audio out. That is pin 1. And pin 1. Okay, so that's 7, 3, 5, 2, 4, That's 4. Okay, so that's 1. That's pin 1 right there. So that's our next victim. We'll bring in the cable. Let's go audio out will be the green wire. So we'll strip some of it off. Just enough. Then I'll tin it. You guys will need to see me tin it. Alright. So our audio out goes to pin 1. And I was just about to forget to put the cover and the shield on here. Good thing you reminded me. Thank you. Alright, so pin 1 goes to there. And we will solder that guy in. Hopefully. Let's try it this way. Maybe I can get better contact. I think this tip is too big for this job. Yep, I'm going to switch tips. Be right back. Okay, switch to a smaller conical tip. Hopefully that'll let me get more heat in there. Come on, baby. There are we. Yeah, are we in there? Find out in a second, huh? Yep, good. Okay. And then we need audio in, and that is pin 3. So that's 7. That one there is 3. I'm going to strip and tin the blue wire. Alright, blue wire is stripped and tinned. And it goes over here to pin 3. Now the trick is to get it to stay in there. The trick is actually to find the hole. Alright, she doesn't want to stay. Let's try this here. There we go. So the blue wire's in there now. A little bit of solder on the tip. And we'll come in here and get some heat on that guy. Come on. Heat up. Wow, these are surprisingly difficult to tin or to solder. Guess that's what I get for buying the cheapest ones that Amazon had. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay, so the other 2 wires are our ground, and they will be connected together and soldered to the shield. So I will strip them and tin them and be right back. Okay, next up is our shield. You can see I've stripped and tinned these wires. Now I'm going to tin the shield where the wires are going to meet. So we'll tin that up real nice here. And we'll solder those in. We'll heat this from the bottom. Once our solder's flowing there. Give that a couple seconds to cool. And let's zoom out. So that's soldered in good. Then our connector will key in there real nice, like that. And we can crimp over this part here. Maybe. A little something like that. Then we put on the top part of the connector. Oh, get my fingers to work. It goes on like that. Gotta get everything in place. Come on. There we go. Snapped in real nice. And there's a catch right here that lines up with that hole. And all we have to do is push it in until that catch clicks. And there you have it. An 8-pin DIN connector. Next up, we do the other side. Okay, so it's the next day. And I don't know if you guys have noticed in the past few days, my sound has been a little bit off. Well, that's due to the fact that my son absconded with my headset mic because it was good for playing Fortnite. So I had to order a new headset mic. But I've got it in, and all is well. So now we're going to move on to the computer end of things. And it's, you know, pretty simple in and of itself. So we're going to solder our ground connection down here to the shield. Let's go get her in there. Now this should solder much more easily than those other cheap connectors I bought, but then again, who knows? Yep, that seems to be soldering quite well. So that was the ground. Next, we're just going to put the signal in here. Just like that. We'll solder that up. And that should do it for the soldering on this one. But we're not done. Hey, that's a little bit warm, wouldn't you know? We'll crimp those down. Then we can screw that on. I've got a little heat shrink here. Not really enough, but it'll do. Alright, let's go on and do the second one. Second one's just like the first one. And the same here with the signal. Now that's a little long, so I'm going to trim it after we get her soldered in there. Yeah, we're going to do a little trim here. Not too much. There. There. Then we'll clamp our wires in. Just like that. Screw on our connector. And we'll do our heat shrink. One will look good. One will not. But I'm not too worried about it. These aren't going to see much stress. Okay. So, there is our complete cabling system. Now we are ready. Well, almost ready. Two more things we need. Them right here. This is a what's called CIV cable. This is for computer control. It's called CAT control of the radio. And then, so I don't use my only sound card, we've got a little USB sound card. And that's it. But we're not going to put it in this video because this video is long enough as it is. We'll do it in an upcoming video. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make a custom cable. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Big thanks to the patrons. That's it. I'm out. Peace.